Today we are going to learn how you can graph the quadratic inequalities, as we have seen in our previous lecture, that how you can graph the linear inequalities as well. So in linear inequality we have the power of x as 1, but here we have the power of x as 2, like this in the example that I have mentioned here. Here we have x square. That shows that this equation is a quadratic inequality, or if you can say the standard form of the quadratic inequality, or you can say it is derived from the quadratic equation, is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. This is the standard form of the quadratic equation. So from here we can say that this equation is referring to the quadratic inequality. So let's start with the step-by-step process, and I will tell you how you can graph the given example that I have already written. So the step number 1 here is we have to visualize the graph in our head, like in a way, by looking at the equation first, or before graphing or plotting the inequality on the graph. So for that purpose we must know that what kind of graph does the quadratic equations have. So the quadratic equations have a graph that look like, that is actually a parabola. So keep this in mind. If you have an equation that is quadratic, you must have a graph that is a parabola. So I will write here that graph will be a plane bounded by parabola. So how it looks like, we will discuss it later. So a plane bounded by parabola. So you have to visualize in your mind that it will be a parabola. So the next thing is, the next step is the step number 2, that how that parabola is going to look alike. For that purpose you have to notice something in the given inequality. What you have to notice is, you have to see first that whether we have the square on the x or we have the square on the y. If we have the square on the x, it means the parabola will be in the upward or downward direction. If we have the x in the square, the parabola will be in the upward or downward direction. So if I will write here, if x square, like as in the given it's x square, then parabola will be either in this shape or in this shape. That is either upward or downward. But in case we have y square in the given equation, it will look alike as either left or right. So this is how you will differentiate, you will visualize it in your mind, that how it will look alike, whether it will be upward, downward, left or right. This is the step number. Then the step number 3 is, if I say before step number 3, I say what is this given inequality is showing, that the parabola will be upward, downward, left or right. So it is very obvious here that the parabola will lie in this category, that it will either be upward or downward. It will not be left or right, because there is no y square in the given inequality. So we'll move towards step 3. Now we have to decide whether the parabola will be upward or downward. For that purpose we have to look into the sign of the leading coefficient in the given inequality. Now it's not difficult, it's just these are just the terminologies that you need not to get confused about. So the leading coefficient of the given equation is 1. So how I came to know it? So this is the term with the highest power, x square, and the coefficient or the constant that is multiplying with this term is basically the leading coefficient. So the leading coefficient is plus 1. Hence the sign of the leading coefficient is showing that the parabola will be opening upward. So we can write here that so we can assume, or we can visualize it in your mind, as I already said, that it will be like. So till step 3 we are just visualizing, and we are just making the shape of the parabola in our mind, that how it will look alike on the basis of the given example or the given inequality. Now we move towards the step number 4. So in step number 4 we will treat this inequality as the same as the equation, that is with the equality sign. As I already told you in the previous lecture, that whenever you are given with the inequality, first you have to while graphing it, you have to treat it as an equality, and when you cover the area, or when you graph, or when you plot, or when you shade the area, then you will treat it as inequality, so that you can have the points that basically are covering that inequality. So we will write this inequality as x square minus x minus 6 equals to 0, and then I'll factorize it. I'll write here factorize. Factorize means we have to find the factors. So for that, let's solve it by the method of factorization as minus 3x plus 2x minus 6 equals to 0. So it will become x plus 2 by means of factorization and x minus 3 equals to 0. So we are done with the factorization. So from this factorization, we came to know that there are two x-intercepts. That means x plus 2 equals to 0 and x minus 3 equals to 0. So this means x is equals to minus 2 and this means x is equals to 3. So we have two x-intercepts. X-intercepts are basically the points that where parabola will cut the x-axis or where y is equals to 0. So from these we can get the 2 points. One point is minus 2 and 0 because these are x-intercepts, so y will be 0, and 3 and 0. So these 2 points are very important because they will tell us where the parabola is going to intersect the x-axis. So these are the 2 points. So I am going to plot these 2 points before plotting the whole parabola, so it will be easier for us to see how you can do that. So minus 2 and 0, let's go to the graph and see where we can plot these points. So minus 2 is x and 0 is y. So this will be the point minus 2 and 0, and 3 is x and 0 is y. So this will be the point 3 and 0. So I'll write here minus 2 and 0 and 3 and 0. These are the x-intercept, as it is clear here that these are the points which are on the x-axis. So on the x-axis always y is 0. So these are the x-intercepts. Now the next step is we have to find the vertex of the parabola. So in easy words, or in layman term, you can say that the vertex is the point where there is a peak of the parabola, or you can say, if I draw here for your ease, this point will be the vertex. If I say V for vertex, so in this step we have to find vertex. How you can do that? It's easier. You just need to find the midpoint of these given 2 points. We will use just the x values to find the x, and then we will put that value of x in the given equation in the step 4 to find the value of y. So here we have got the two x-intercepts minus 2 and 3. So we have to find their midpoint. So for finding the midpoint, what we have to do is we have to add them. Minus 2 plus 3 divided by 2 is equals to 1 divided by 2, that will be equals to 0.5. So this is the x value of the vertex. So for vertex you must have y value as well. So we'll put this x value in the equation of the step number 4 to get the value of y. So if I write here x is 0.5, so I'll put the value of x in the equation as 0.5 plus 2 and 0.5 minus 3. Any of the above equation, either in the factorized one or in the given above equation that we have in the question. So 0.5 plus 2 and 0.5 minus 3. It will be equals to minus 6.25. So this is the y value of the vertex. So our vertex here will be, I'll write it with the red, vertex here with the x and y will be 0.5 and so our vertex here will be 0.5, that is the x, comma minus 6.25. So this is the vertex. So let's plot the vertex on the graph so we can have the clear idea. So 0.5 is the x value, that is plus 0.5. So we have to look at the right side of the graph. So plus 0.5 and minus 6.25. So it will be a point from here to minus 6. It's a point somewhere here. This will be the vertex of the parabola. So I'll write here 0.5 and minus 6.25. This will be the vertex. So we have got the vertex, we have got the x-intercepts. Now we just need to have some more random points, so we can match them together to get the shape of the parabola. I will make the chart as so. I will take firstly the vertex, and will take the few points on the right of the vertex and few points on the left of the vertex in order to draw the parabola. So I'll write 0.5 here. This is the vertex point minus 6.25, and the remaining points on the left and right. And keep this in mind, and the x-intercepts as well. So I'll write one intercept here, that is on the rightmost, and the other intercept here, that is on the leftmost, minus 2 and 0. So we need two more points so that we can join them together to form a somewhat like a good parabola. So 1 point I will take here 1, 2, and similarly I will take the point 1 here is 0 and 1. So the corresponding values are minus 4. You can calculate it by putting the values of x in the given equation to get the value of y. So on 0 it's minus 6, on 1 it's minus 6, and on 2 it's minus 4. So keep this in mind, parabola is symmetrical, so all the points will be symmetrical on the left as well as on the right. So let's plot these points one by one. So we have minus 2, 0, that is already plotted, 1 and minus 4. 1 is x, sorry, it's minus 1. Minus 1 and minus 4. So it will be like, we go this minus 1 and minus 4. This will be the 1 point. Then we have 0 and minus 6. Another point will be here. Then we have 1 and minus 6. It will be here. Then 2 and minus 4. And it will be here. So we'll join them together to get the parabola. So it will be like, we'll start from here, from the vertex, and we'll move upward. It will be like this. So if we further make it, it will be like this. So this is the basically shape of the parabola. So it is clear here from step 1, 2, 3 as well that we have got a parabola that is upward in direction, and not the downward, not the left, not the right. So it is clear that why I make sure that step 1, 2, 3 should be considered while graphing the quadratic inequalities. Now the last step is, that is the step 6, is shading the area that will be included in the given inequality. Now keep this in mind that I have make the parabola line as solid line, but in actual it will not be like this, because in the example we were not having the equality sign, we are only having the less than sign. So I have already told in the previous lecture that when you don't have the equality sign in the inequality equation, then you have to consider the dotted line. So we have to consider the dotted parabola first, then we will highlight which area is to be included. Dotted parabola. So I'll make it dotted as this. If you can see, I am making it dotted. It's not the solid line. Keep this in mind. Whenever you don't have the equality sign, it will not be solid. It will be dotted. So what it is showing actually, the dotted parabola is showing that the points that are lying on the parabola will not be included in the solution set of the given inequality. Their purpose is only to make the boundary that all the values above or below it will be included in the solution set. So let's highlight which area is going to be the solution set of the given inequality. So in step 6 we have seen there is a dotted line in the parabola. It means the points on the parabola will not be a part of the solution set. And the very important thing is, now we have to decide whether the area will be outside the parabola or the area enclosed within the parabola, which area we should consider. For that purpose we have to take a point that is 0, 0. This is the point, if I mark it on the graph, 0, 0. If this point satisfies our given inequality, then it means you have to take the area that is enclosed by a parabola. If it is not, then we have to take the area that is outside the parabola. So let's see whether it is satisfying or not. This is the last step. So if I put the value of 0, 0 in the given inequality, that is if I write here x square minus x minus 6 less than 0. And if I put the value of x as 0, 0 minus 6 less than 0, and it will become minus 6 less than 0. So minus 6 is less than 0. It is true. It means that we will consider the area that is enclosed by the parabola rather than the area that is outside the parabola. So if I highlight that area, you will better understand it. So you can say this area will be the solution set of the given inequality. If I further make it like this, so this shaded area will be the result of the given, or will be the solution set of the given inequality. So this is how you can check whether whether you have to take the area inside the parabola, enclosed by the parabola, or the outside the parabola. You have to put 0, 0 in the given inequality, and you have to check whether the inequality is holding true or not. So it is holding true here, so it means we have to take the area that is enclosed by the parabola. So that's all from today's lecture. Thank you.